So you were banned from Australia. What happened? And I'm sorry on behalf of all Australians who love you.
So I filmed an entire special about it a couple days ago.
Another special.
The entire special is only about getting banned from Australia. So I went to get a work visa and they wouldn't give it to me, to the point that we were like, we got to get a lawyer involved. And so we're trying to figure out how to get the work visa. And then Australia was like, you're a political extremist. And everyone, like my agent is like, what? Shayne's a political extremist? Because like I'm pretty regular on the internet. Like I am a political extremist.
So they were right.
They're right.
Kudos to them.
They're totally right. I'm a political extremist. I'm a religious extremist. I'm an extreme guy. I'm an aesthetic extremist, you know, all of it. And so I get it. But also, like, what do they think? What do they think I'm going to do? And so basically, it turns out that like I was on like a watch list. And how I got on that watch list was by being Catholic, because Joe Biden was spying on Catholics and putting Catholics on watch lists. And they had a bunch of different types of watch lists. And like Tulsi Gabbard was on one and a bunch of other people. And like, but so then they share that information with our allies who are like, oh, this person's sketchy or whatever. Like if the TSA is watching you and won't give you pre-check, they're going to tell Australia about it, probably. Anyway, it was this whole huge, like wild mess. And so we started to sort it out thinking like, all right, he's going to get his work visa and we'll send him into the country. And then Australia started looking into me and they were like, we don't like you. And they straight up were like, we don't like the people you talk to. We don't like the podcast you're on. We don't like the merch on your store. We don't like what you post. And so then they were like, if you want a work visa, you're going to have to like do a bunch of stuff. And then they started like censoring my social media, made me, and my lawyer was like, they're not going to let you in the country if you don't take these shirts with guns off your website. You got to do X and Y and Z. It was like an insane, like rigmarole, right? And during all of this, the country of Australia is like being crazy to the point that they're like, write us a letter apologizing for the speeding ticket you got when you were here.
That's not true.
It's real. It's real.
Did you ever pay it? Of course not. I live in America. So, I'm going home. Why would I pay that?
I know. So in my act, I joke about how my original plan is not to pay it. I also was going double the speed limit on the highway. So the cop, like, I didn't know that Australian cops are like really serious about the law.
Yeah.
You guys are like, hey, you have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Like people don't even jaywalk. I was in Brisbane and people were like behaving themselves. Even the crackheads were like, kind of like, hey, easy now. You know, like they were like a little, like they were in their lane, like kind of well behaved. It was weird. Australia is a weird place.
I can't wait to figure this out. So it turns out you ended up going there? Or
I end up going.
Okay. All right.
So I end up going, but it took me over a year of litigation and a new president and essentially like it took so much work to get, and they didn't award me the work visa until like, I'm not joking, literally like 2 weeks before I had to leave. One last twist of the knife to be like, you have to pay the maximum amount to come here and maybe even don't. Like, it was crazy.
All right. I have so many questions.
All right.
So how did you find out that you were on a Catholic watch list?
So there's no way to know like 100%. No one's like, here's the watch list and you're on it. But like my lawyer is like, hey, just so you know, like clearly something's up. They're watching you. This is what happened. Yada, yada, yada. And we were like, country of Australia, like explain yourself. Why is Shayne a political extremist? And they would like, because that was their verbiage. And then they had me do a bunch of stuff. Like they censored me and did all these other things.
What do you mean they censored you? You weren't showing up in Australia, or they were asking you to
They were asking me to do things or I would not be awarded a work visa.
Okay.
And they like I did like Jesse Peterson. You know who this guy is? Or is his name Jesse Peterson?
I don't know.
A black fellow.
Oh, don't know him.
He's an African-American man. He's not black and African-American are technically different. I don't know. But it does. So anyway, he's African-American, but he's like a conservative. He's like kind of a troll a little bit. He's a funny guy. He makes very funny content. And so I did his podcast or whatever, you know, and he's like grilling me about stuff. He's a sort of a controversial guy. So he asked me like, do you think there needs to be more white babies? That would be a question he would ask me. And I'm like, sure, why not?
Define need.
Yeah. I think, yeah. If I'm making them, for sure. Like, I want my family to grow. We're all white, whatever. I don't know, man. So I he's tries to be controversial. I answer all these questions. The country of Australia was like, we saw you were on that podcast. We hated it. Like the amount of stuff that they were trying to do to get me to not have a work visa just because they didn't want me in the country, like, what did they say? Espousing conservative values.
I wonder if you say the country of Australia, it was probably a 42-year-old man named Graham.
Mm-hmm. I point that out at certain points during the joke because I'm doing it. I do like frame it as the entire country of Australia because it's funny. Works better. But in reality, I'm for sure like what happens is there's caseworkers assigned to different things. An algorithm probably handles most of it. One specific caseworker like has to look at like every 50th flagged account or whatever. He happened to see mine, thought, screw this conservative guy. I'm going to make it difficult for him. And then at every point just made sure to make it difficult for me. I'm sure that that's essentially what happened, right? Or once they see it, everyone who's working in that government office is not conservative. And they're like, we're going to give this guy a tough time. But I mean, Candace Owens and like multiple other speakers were barred from entering the Commonwealth in general, but also Australia very specifically. So I don't know what's going on with that. Have you had problems?
I haven't had any problems yet, but I'm an Australian citizen, so that might be why. Maybe if I went now, they would. But it's funny because I'm obviously like offended on your behalf, but I'm also thinking that's kind of cool. We don't want you. Piss off. You got to apologize. That's kind of cool. I like that.
I thought that was your guys' thing for a while. Weren't you like the hardest country to immigrate to for a little bit?
I think we still are.
Really?
Well, one of them, yeah.
Yeah. And I was. Here's the funny part though. So they made me do all this stuff. Frustrating, expensive. I had to travel around. I had to get multiple different types of background checks in local places I had been arrested. They wanted me to physically go get paperwork for them, basically creating busy work to stop me from coming to the country.
I mean, surely it wasn't worth your time.
Well, here's at one point we're trying to get this, and they're like, "We want a transcript of your comedy," and we were like, "What?" Because they say we want to make sure you're not espousing conservative views publicly in Australia.
That was the words they used? With a straight face, they said that.
Yes, espousing conservative views in Australia is what the man on the phone said.
Unbelievable.
So he's just like, you can't just come into our country as an American and show up and then start telling people.
And make sense.
And tell people to be conservative. And his assumption that I would do this was the people I spend time with and the fact that I'm religious. Like they asked for, they made me get, not character, like when you
reference?
Yes, character references. That's the word I'm looking for. So they made me get character references
from blue-haired lesbian women.
No, specifically the man from Australia told me, no priests, no religious people.
Well, that's what I meant by the blue-haired lesbian.
That's what he said. Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
They did that. They actually for real did that.
I'm going to need a tranny. I'm going to need someone who's disabled.
Dude, they were just like, how many legs? What kind of place does he park? The person who wrote your character reference, could he fit in a canoe easily? What's the deal with that? You know, you're like, what do you want from me, dude?
Thank you very much for watching that Pints with Aquinas clip. If you like it, do me a favor, click like and subscribe, and please offer a Hail Mary for the work of Pints with Aquinas and all the people we're trying to reach. God bless you.